What's going on, people? Welcome to another Toronto Hoop Talk live stream. My name is Alam, and today we got Dream against Tempo. Um, the Tempo were off, I think, over like the weekend, so it was Saturday, Sunday, and Friday. So bit of a rest. Traveling all the way from the West Coast to the East. Um, Obviously, a big time zone difference, but they've had the days to adjust. Hopefully, things go well in this game, because we're in a kind of a tank where you don't have to actively cheer for losing. The losing is going to happen on its own. You can safely cheer for winning, knowing the chances of it happening are pretty low. Kiki Rice in the low post, misses, me bound, puts it in. That's the Angel Reese uh, tribute right there. Shout out to Kiki. Ooh, Canada drive blocked by Kiki. Tempo go the other way. Morrow. Shout out to Anissa Morrow. Hair so long it's covering the jersey. So if you're not a ball knower, you won't know it's her. If you have to look at the number or the jersey to read the name, you are not going to know it's her. What's going on, Jen Will? What's going on, Jared? Charles McAdoo hit a homer against the Red Sox. I have not been paying attention to that, but I think Okamoto is not playing, so that's not good. We'll see what happens. 17 to 17 in this game. Seems like it's been a back and forth affair. Kiki Rice pull up three, knocks it down. 20 to 17. Okay, tempo 4 for 7. Obviously, I'm joining this game over halfway through the first. Missed a bunch of the beginning of the game, but we're 4 for 7 from 3. Hopefully, that means that Marina Mabry has got it going. But I'll do a look into the stats quickly at the next break. Morrow with the rebound, pass to Kia Nurse, 20 to 17, just under 2 minutes to go. Yeah, I saw that he got pulled out of the starting lineup. Apparently, he got hurt in the warm up or something. Morrow from three. Ooh, it's left. It's off left. I love those 3-point shots where the camera angle actually shows you what's going on. Morrow. Oh, tough look there. Obviously, a lot to handle with Angel Reese, but was doing a good job. Got the foul called for the contact. For Josh Smith. Damn, General, look at you with the Blue Jays knowledge. I read this text in my head. I just assumed it was Jared, and then I read it was you. Look at you, General, man. Look what gambling does to a person. Shout out to everybody in here, man. Shout out to everybody with bets on this game. Let us know what everybody put on the game. Did you see that FI? What is this FI you speak of? Because I read this and my brain initially went to like, is Jared speaking patois? But no. Thankfully not. Thankfully, by the grace of God, that's not the case. Angel Reese bringing the ball up the floor. Oh no. Gray knocks down a three. 22 to 20. Kiki. Morrow. Oh, great job putting the ball on the floor. Great finish at the basket. 22-22. Dejanay Carrington foul. I've heard people talk about it. I haven't seen the play itself. I imagine it was a hard foul because that's the way people talk about it. It's all baseball is all analytics. This is true. The baseball is the birthplace. It's like the mecca of analytics. If you enjoy that type of, if you enjoy just being able to engage with the sport that way, as the Dream take the lead, then baseball is where it's at. But that's cool, man. Let me know if you have a team. Almond, Sabali. Oh, she travels. She travels. Tempo stuck to 18 seconds to go. Dream will have one last possession to extend their lead. More or less the Rays. That makes sense too, because the Rays are pure analytics ball. They'll never have the highest wage sheet or anything, but pure analytics ball. Mabry, Almond, Moro. Oh no, Moro. Damn, Kiki did that I think 2 times in the last game. This time Moro. Players not being locked in about the shot clock. Liberty and then the Wings. That's a tough back to back. We get the Wings as well on Wednesday. Vegas, then maybe them. Vegas would have the Athletics, and I think the Oakland Athletics were once one of the analytics ball teams because they were a very like obviously a cheap team. However, they're in Vegas now, so Vegas is gonna have that team shouldn't be cheap. I'll say that. Good pun, General. Good pun. MLB about expansion. I didn't see this, but I mean it makes sense. Vancouver is definitely a big enough city to support more than just the Canucks and the BC Lions. Because yeah, they don't have an MLB team, they don't have an NBA team. I mean, they have the Whitecaps. They also have the Vancouver Canadians, which are the Jays' top minor league team. Um, but obviously, yeah, minor league is minor league. New Mexico should have one. You're gonna have to explain that one to me, brother. You're gonna have to explain this one to me. Why should New Mexico have a baseball team? Yeah, Montreal had the Expos, but then they lost them. Who did the Expos turn into? The Rockies, I think. No, the Nationals. So Montreal went to Washington. So Bryce Harper. No, I'm kidding. Just because New Mexico. Or expand maybe to old Mexico. I mean, here's the thing. I feel like whenever the NFL has played a game in Mexico, the environment has been amazing. And I remember the NBA talking about whether they would put a NBA team in Mexico or not. Because also for them, they've already put a team in another country. I guess the didn't they put a G League team in Mexico? Hold on. Mexican NBA G League team. Yeah, so the Mexican in the G League is the Mexico City Capitanes, making them the first G League franchise based outside of the US and Canada. Mexico City Capitanes. But yeah, so they were actually a team in Mexico for a while, and then they've essentially moved to the G League. But yeah, 20,000 seater. I feel like the NBA is going to touch down in Mexico before any other league. Get an NFL team in Mexico then. So apparently Mexico has a chokehold on or sorry, the Niners have a chokehold on Mexico. I think there's a lot of Mexican Niners fans for some reason. I don't know what the connection is, but there is one. Maybe it wasn't them. Maybe it was Arizona. It was one of the red teams. One of the red teams is really big in Mexico. Mm. No, man. We keep leaving Canada open and she keeps hooping. Canada killing her namesake. Izzy, low a bucket in the low post. Can we catapult Ennis Freedom out of the solar system? I agree. I agree, man. Top tier attention seeker. Top tier attention seeker, dude. CIA agent Ennis for sure. For sure, man. Hey, man. Tell him. Yo, one of the WNBA players. should go to Turkey and just post up on like a resort or something and just be like, you can't come here. Mabry with the bucket, contact, no call, which is just the story of her life and something she will obviously be more mad about. I mean, she has been going through it from the refs recently. Canada with another bucket. She's cold. Yes, Quinnen Williams got the bag from Dallas. He's banned from entering Turkey. Yep, Enes Kanter, he can't go home, man. Easy bucket, Mabry. Mabry. It looks like Mabry has her touch this game, which is good because last game we saw it didn't look great. Is she leading the game in scoring? She has 13 points for Mabry, almost half our points. Dream, Reese, me bound, miss, almost two me bounds. First miss of the quarter. That's lit. Alman goes around the screen. Laura, great fake, man. Angel Reese bit hard. Why did that look so bad? But that looked so bad. It looked like she didn't want to shoot that, even though it was a good look at the basket. Like, what more could you ask for? That was a bad screen from Canada, man. Thank God Power missed. Alright, Kiki. Let's get it going. Izzy Harrison from three. Oh, Laura almost finessed the rebound. Nobody was paying attention from the Dream there. That was weird. I think because the three was so early in the shot clock. Reese with the bucket. That's not nice. Mabry, deep three, in and out. Yeah, you can. Kiki Rice just played soccer. She just broke it up with her feet. Great 15 points. Matt Canada? Who was Matt Canada? Is that the Steelers offensive coordinator, the disgraced one? Damn, don't respect Jordan. Don't disgrace Jordan by comparing her to Matt Canada. Reese double. Okay, I like almost all of this except calling her Matt Canada. And also, 8 assists feels like a lot in a W game. Where is she at now? Jordan Canada's at 3. I mean, that's not a bad pace. But yeah, Canada leads the way for them. Then Alicia Gray with 15. Angel Reese with 6. Ryan Howard with 6. For the tempo, it's the Mabry show. There's no slouch. You know what? I hear what you're saying, but the way Matt Canada was basically unanimously disgraced in Pittsburgh was hilarious. They were saying fire Canada at Penguins games. Little did they know there would be forest fires in Canada not too long after that would impact them. So that just made chanting fire Canada very ironic. $34-30. My goodness. Alicia Gray with the contact and one. She's hooping. Alicia Gray and Jordan Canada. They look good. For hiring him. When did you guys have Adam Gase? I think my brain just blanketed this memory. I don't have any memory of this. Oh, it's gonna be McDaniel, basically 1,000%. He's clouded enough to where he wouldn't take a job if it wasn't 100% his shit. Passing coordinator? Damn. Crazy. When was this? Like what year? I totally forgot about this. We're getting gashed right now. Conde's obviously really upset with the foul call, but we're getting gashed right now. Oh, he's with you guys right now? Crazy. Crazy. That's nasty. That is not nice. By the way, people, I think halftime is just gonna be the Kawhi show because Kawhi's a funny guy, and it seems like there's a lot to talk about. I will say this, people, when it comes to the Kawhi trade, listen to Grange and listen to Jake Fisher. Grange is the mouthpiece for the Raptors ownership, and Jake Fisher has been at the top of Kawhi news the entire summer. Like he was the person that had everything going. Oh, you're saying the total is 67, and is that notable for a reason or another, General? Is that notable? By the way, General, if you YouTube gave everybody free jewels to use in live streams. If you haven't used your free jewels, man, bless me, bless me. Make it rain in here. I used all my free jewels in here earlier. Yo, what's going on? Time to shine. Oh, good, perfect timing. From the standpoint of me just saying at halftime where it's gonna be all Kawhi talk. Cause yeah, again, listen to Jake Fisher, listen to Michael Grange, bro. That motherfucker is gonna be a Raptor come September 28th. I mean, it could be depending on what the person does with the money. I got some heavy binoculars looking for Kawhi. Yo, stick around, bro. Halftime, I'll go through this stuff that I think is valuable. Because again, I listen to Michael Grange because right or it's not that he's necessarily right, but his news is always going to basically be the stance of the Raptors themselves. And then listen to Jake Fisher because he's been spot on about Kawhi the entire time, this whole offseason. Like he's had the saga down pat. So we're gonna go through their news. Uh, this is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that we void the picks and we have to deal with the suspension. But I have a feeling Kawhi's gonna he's gonna finesse the extension. Sorry, he's gonna finesse the suspension, not get one, and it's just gonna go through as planned. But yeah, we'll talk about it, man. Interesting times. There's never been a trade saga like this. I do think that this trade saga has done a lot to show people's media literacy though, because sometimes you'll hear people with outrageous takes and it's just like there's no way you know how to navigate conflicting reports properly if you've left with this feeling. Like, I think giving away free goggles for Alicia Gray, that's a fire giveaway, bro. The whole crowd is wearing Alicia Gray's glasses. That's fucking fire. 7 point game, not good times. I hear it. There is still things that can go wrong for them. Obviously, there's things that can go right, but there are still things that can go wrong. Mabry, Izzy. All right, 7 point game for after the layup. Let's get some defensive stops going because I want to say the last. I mean, this whole second quarter has been horrible for us defensively, and as a team, we're good for a quarter like this. So this is a real thing, right? Like the reality is LeBron and Embiid's availability slash health. Because even if they are available, are they healthy? That's going to be a serious thing for them, right? In the event that they're not available, I think that team has like serious deficiencies. Because I think if you put the ball in Jaylen Brown and Maxi's hands like full time to run an offense, I just don't think it's going to run well. Like part of what went wrong for the Clippers when they had Kawhi and Paul George is that if you get a point guard to play with them, then the ball really isn't in their hands, so somebody's going to suffer. And if the ball is in their hands, then they're going to thrive and the rest of the team is going to suffer. Like, there's a weird dynamic at play when you have two kind of like bucket getters like that. Um, and yeah, I don't know if, like, and this is the thing. So if the ball is in LeBron's hands quite a bit, then you're not getting in your head what you think Maxey is capable of and Jaylen Brown is capable of. You're not getting the totality of that at the same time. And if you put the ball in their hands so that they can both cook, then everybody else loses out. So offensively, like, they're not going to get the total sum of what they have, in my opinion. And then defensively, like, their front court might be ass. And unless LeBron or Embiid are both healthy and both, like, again, not only available but like healthy. And even then, um, those are some old men. LeBron is literally 42. Embiid is like, his knees are 42. Nick Nurse plays starters into the ground. I could see Jaylen Brown. Honestly, I could see Jaylen Brown and LeBron kind of not getting along. I don't know. To be honest, this might be Miami Heat tactics this year. It would not surprise me if the Miami Heat basketball team had this kind of presence. Welcome to UCLA, Derek Carr. That's you're seeing a lot of really just names getting jobs, man. I saw Monte Ellis is some team's GM, some college's GM, and I'm like, that's cool, but what the hell does Monte Ellis know about roster construction? Oh, he's a head coach. You know what? I have a little bit more time for ex player being a head coach. I have a little bit more time for that. But yeah. Yeah, no, Philly, man, like, of course, high ceiling, but I wouldn't say they have the highest floor in the world. What's the other game going on? Oh, there's no other game going on. Damn. Oh, they're reviewing whether it's a foul or not. I definitely think they should take that back. That wasn't a foul. There was barely any contact. It's because she swiped and 42 kind of lost her balance, but that's not a foul. Anyways, they did not take it back, so free throws for the Dream. That's not good. That's not good. 5:16 left. Dream are up 8. Free throws are 10-2. Conde with the bucket. Yeah, Tempo are not getting calls. Shout out to everybody here. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I won't be able to do the game on Thursday. So next time I'll see you guys, I believe is like next Tuesday. So a week off on the channel. I might find some time for a Raptors stream, but I'm gonna have a pretty busy weekend. So maybe not. A lot of fantasy drafts this weekend. Also, General, it just occurred to me I have to set up the In Motion Football Fantasy stuff, so I'll do that as well. Next live stream I do, I'll be keep getting people's information. Yo, the Dream are racking up these free throws. They're in the bonus, and it's just halfway through the second. This is a quarter from hell from us, and that's kind of just like standard tempo stuff at this point. Like, we're gonna get a quarter from hell. Let me see. Let me see. 9 point game again. Kiki goes around the screen. Marina, baby. Contact. Wow. She's going to be mad again. I cannot believe what she has to endure. Easy layup for Angel Reese. I did see this, man. Steve Keim also had a DUI, man. That guy's just a crash out. Like, clearly just not a good person, dude. He's a drunk driving scammer. He, like, crazy. And then the guy he was doing it with is dead. And then from his standpoint, like, if I had to, if I had to fuck with people, like, if I had to, like, sorry, if I had to do wrong by people, right? I don't know if I would pick brain damaged jocks. I just don't know if that's who I would pick. Yo, Kyle, what's good? Checking in with our Rockets correspondent. What's going on, bro? Good to see you. Hope you've been well. Um, jeez, jeez. Right. Ryan Howard had to jack up a deep three just to beat the buzzer, and it did not fall. Oh, I maintain though this Alicia Gray glasses giveaway is fire. Kiki around the screen. Good take to the basket. Great pass to Sabali, and Sabali gets fouled. Free throws for Niara. Mm. Sabali makes the first free throw. Doesn't put them on Philly or Knicks level. Um, so I want Kawhi for a few reasons. This is a good question though, and I like how you're looking at it. Um, I'll put it this way. As for how good we're gonna be, we'll know after the second trade we make because there's no way you trade for Kawhi and then don't make another trade. And from the people who I follow that report on the Raptors, like they talk about how essentially the front office understands that if you trade for a 35-year-old Kawhi, you have to then make a trade for somebody else. Like there's no point in having like thinking about the long term if you get 35-year-old Kawhi. So that's something that's a part of the process, right? So a big thing for me, honestly, is that like, what is that second trade gonna be? Because yeah, it's very possible that there's no good second trade to make, and we don't end up getting much better after the Kawhi trade, and then yeah, we're not on Philly or the Knicks level. It's possible, um, but we'll see what that second deal is. A big part of the invest. Oh my goodness, she banked in a three from not even the corner, but like the top of the arc. Crazy fluke. But like for me, a big part of the investigation is could we possibly get a suspension? Niyahara with a great response from Three herself. Um, if we can, if Kawhi has to eat a suspension and we can get a pick back from the Clippers, that would be pretty ideal because then we have more picks in the war chest to make this second trade. As of right now, if the trade goes down as agreed, the Raptors have two firsts, two pick swaps, or no, three pick swaps, like first round pick swaps, and I think three second round picks to trade. And essentially, like, you may as well trade all of it because what again, there's no point in getting 35-year-old Kawhi and then not mortgaging the future. So yeah, if we never make another deal, then yeah, we're not on the same level as them. what I'm gonna add on top of all of this is that I don't think we have to be as good as Philly or New York for this trade to be justified. Because the reality is that like this roster was on its way down, and now instead of going on its way down with a whimper, we're kind of going out with a bang. And the reason I say this is because something that we talked about during the playoffs is that the Raptors did not really have the ability to pay both RJ or Brandon Ingram, sorry, right? Because if you just look at their fair market value, essentially that would have put us into like the luxury tax if we paid both of them. And the question has to be asked, why would you pay for this team that we just saw to be in the luxury tax? That doesn't really make sense. Um Kawhi essentially costs like 10 mil more than Brandon Ingram, right? That's a part of the reason we're making the deal. If you're going to be in the luxury tax, it makes a lot more sense to be in the luxury tax with a team that has a player that's capable of doing things to like make you a playoff contender. So, here's the thing: is like we were on a headed down the road of essentially dump RJ or Brandon Ingram, and then realistically blow the team up in 2 years. That was the trajectory we were on. And we're just in a trajectory now where we probably blow the team up in 3 or 4 years instead, but we have this last little bit with Kawhi. So from that standpoint, I don't necessarily think we have to be a top Eastern Conference team for the trade to be worth it. So that's kind of my outlook. I saw Rashid Rice hasn't been training. Yeah, apparently he doesn't look good even when he is. Turnover, tempo down 14. It's all bad out here. They didn't get Kawhi just to finish third. They're all for the next 3 years, assuming he signs a 2 year extension. Yeah, this is it. You trade for Kawhi. He's 35. You basically go. You don't even imagine what life would be like 4 years down the road when he's 38. Fuck that shit. For the years that he's 35, 36, 37, empty the clip. 3 year window. You trade everything you can possibly have to trade in order to be as good as possible. And this is how I'd rather spend Scotty Barnes' prime doing this than one more year BI and RJ, and then maybe you trade RJ for Sabonis, and then maybe you flip BI for someone else like Trey Murphy, and then they don't win a playoff series, and then you blow it up. Like, like fuck it, man. We ball. Throw 2 picks, 2 first round picks, and 3 pick swaps to Golden State. Say, what are you guys saying for Steph Curry? I don't know. Like, just see what happens. Be aggressive for this next trade. Is Rice not really looking good? For fuck's sake, why did that guy go gone for all the nonsense? He just doesn't look athletic, bro. Like, not that he was always like a premier athlete, but he doesn't look athletic. You have to keep in mind the guy got knee surgery and then had to do his rehab in jail. That doesn't sound great. Most people get surgery and then spend like 6 to 8 hours a day with trainers and physio people to properly like manage their recovery. Buddy was in jail following fucking manuals. Like that's just not a great idea. But there's a rookie, Cyrus Allen, I think, that apparently looks really good. Tempo are going to be stuck 14 after. No, I lied. I wish they were stuck 14. They're about to be stuck 16 after these Alicia Gray free throws. Devastating second quarter for the Tempo. Oh no, Laura. Oh no. Why would you do that? Again, on a nightly basis, you're gonna see some of the craziest turnovers you've ever seen when the Tempo play. And Atlanta just returned the favor. Okay, one last shot. 38-54. Kiki fouled free throws. It looks like it. My Rockets are mostly running it back with Marcus Smart being the new ingredient added to the same stew. What are your thoughts on that? Because I don't know. It's interesting to me because I don't think I don't I didn't think that they would do this. I remember feeling like they seemed like a great Jaylen Brown candidate because Kevin Durant for Jaylen Brown kind of makes sense. Not that Kevin Durant's the problem, but I kind of just felt like, okay, I have a question, Kyle. What do you make of the whole Kevin Durant like and the young guys on the team kind of a thing? Because people make it seem as if, oh, Kiki, what? No way. A lane violation, bro. The craziest shit gets called sometimes. But yeah, no, like I don't think the Rockets are in a championship window right now. So having a 38-year-old Kevin Durant kind of just doesn't seem that all that necessary. I feel like if they could have moved him for Jaylen Brown, that's what I would have been after if I was the Rockets. Let me look at what this says. Most stacked teams. Mm, it feels high. I think we're up there, but it feels high. Who plays fine years, similar to LeBron, since just make the pass and see where you land. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting, man. I think they're banking on Ime Udoka getting the most out of the younger players going forward. I guess Marcus Smart is there to just like help him yell at people because that's what they do. And we'll see how it goes, but it's definitely a tough spot, man. If I was them, I would have shuffled the deck a little bit on that roster. But yeah, shout out to everybody in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. YouTube gave everybody free jewels, which if you haven't explored that jewels and gift shit that they just added, feel free to explore it. I mean, here preferably, because everybody got 1,000 jewels to use on stickers and shit. So if you guys haven't explored that, feel free to do it here in the chat. I think if you close the chat, there's like a free gift jewels thing. General, I don't want you to share those here. Not those ones. Please keep those to yourself. Okay. Kawhi, Michael, Grange. So this is from a few days ago. Clues suggest Kawhi Leonard will end up with the Raptors. Where is the part? Per league sources, there's a belief that the investigation has already moved beyond the fact finding stage and that the parties involved, specifically the Clippers and the NBPA, which is monitoring the situation to see what, if any, consequences befall Leonard, are working quietly to get the entire issue resolved. Something Silver hinted at back on July 14th when he spoke publicly on the issue. So, the thing I want to highlight here is that is just the complexity of the situation because there's a ton of things that they have to keep in mind. One, this isn't the law, right? So this isn't a court. There's no judge that's tasked with finding the just outcome and then enforcing it on everybody around them. This is a business conducting an internal investigation that can ultimately decide to do whatever it wants. What it's going to try to decide to do is something that best forwards its interest without causing problems. Some of the problems that could exist. You have to keep in mind that the punishment that you decide in this situation is going to be your precedent for what you do in future situations if this ever happens again. Which is especially a high stakes thing if you consider that a lot of people believe that what happened with Kawhi is actually a pretty normal thing and it happens with a lot of other players. We just don't know about it. So, Jalen Brunson, somebody who just took a massive pay cut in New York, do you not think that there's some serious money going to him off the court from things that might be tied to an owner? Um, in the event that that's happening, and that comes out, are you ready to apply that there, right? And then there's the whole side of like other owners that might be upset with what happened. You have to keep that in mind too. There's then the fact that Steve Ballmer is rich as hell and can probably take the appeal process to the nth degree. So how upset is Ballmer going to be by the punishment, and is he gonna like is it worth it to basically punish them and then they have it hung up in the appeal process for over a year? How does that pan out, right? And then there's the mbpa, right? This other party that has the players rights at the front of their mind. So there's all these people with competing interests, and Adam Silver, his job in this situation is essentially going to be, how do you find a resolution that properly handles every single issue? Oh, one of the other interests is the interest of the public, right? If they decide to do nothing, the public would be pretty upset. So you have to balance all these factors. And I think Silver is just cooking something up that allows them to punish the Clippers, but not too bad so Ballmer is too pissed and Kawhi gets to be a Raptor and blah blah blah. Like, they're not gonna sit here and like, again, I think people are almost confusing this with like the law, because it's not that. Getting some teams to wear their retro jerseys. I forgot the whole details, but it's their ABA jerseys. I mean, I've seen this happen here and there before. I don't know if you remember, but the Raptors used to wear Toronto Huskies jerseys, which the Toronto Huskies were a basketball team in Toronto for 1 year in like the 60s. Uh, Raptors jersey. But yeah, this is Kyle Lowry in a Toronto Huskies jersey. This is Norman Powell in the Toronto Huskies jersey as well. There's I've seen some cool throwbacks. DeMar in a Huskies jersey. Hito Turkoglu in a Huskies jersey. Nasty. The most likely outcome, a negotiated settlement where the NBA gets to enforce some version of its rules. Ballmer can save face and Leonard can play for the Raptors. Um, I definitely like this reporting. The other bit of reporting would probably come from Jake Fisher that is behind a paywall. So I have to go to x.com. So again, Jake Fisher, the person has had his finger on the pulse with Kawhi the whole time. Kawhi Leonard is working under the belief that the NBA's ongoing investigation will conclude before the start of training camp, and that the seven-time All-Star remains on course to join the Toronto Raptors. Um, do you think Kawhi told the Clippers front office, "I want out"? Because I mean, Kawhi, part of the reason you left Toronto is because you wanted to go back home. Okay, so my understanding of what happened is basically, it's very similar to what happened with Paul George, where the Clippers essentially decided, hey, we've been paying premium dollar for superstars that haven't really been giving us the results, and we're about to have to rebuild because our team fell apart, right? We're a pretty old team. We're past, a lot of players are past their primes. We're not really going to do it, so we're looking to rebuild. So with a franchise that's trying to get younger and trying to rebuild, when Paul George asked for a max deal, the Clippers said fuck no. And then he found the first team that would pay him a max in Philly, and then he got traded there to get the max, right? Similar thing happened with Kawhi. Kawhi, and I don't know if that number is going to be the max, but Kawhi had a number for what he wanted to get paid. The Clippers decided, we're not giving you that money, and then it became, where did Kawhi want to go? And then from Kawhi's standpoint, it's kind of complicated because he wanted to go to LA because he wanted to go home. He's now learning, if I want to stay in LA, I either have to take a pay cut for the Clippers or I have to go to the Lakers. And the thing is like, for people, what people kind of may not realize is that, like, one, the Lakers couldn't trade for him. They don't really have the salaries to make it work. Like, they would have to trade Austin Reeves, and I don't think they would do that. But also, like, Kawhi would have never played with LeBron. And I don't know if that was clear where he would be at the time. So it's like, if Kawhi had to leave LA, he was apparently according to, what's his name, Bobby Marks on ESPN, he was basically saying that Kawhi's first thing was like, to go to some of the two teams he's played for because there's like familiarity. Like, unlike LeBron, I don't think Kawhi wanted to go to a new situation, a completely new setup where he doesn't know anything, or like, he didn't really want a fresh start in a way. Um, that was my understanding of it. And then there's other competing things, and like, I don't know if so. Kyle, when he got traded, right? I had a live stream immediately when it happened, and then the next day, and it kind of what I talked about is like, from Kawhi's standpoint, I think there's probably a few things at play. I think a lot of Raptors fans would like to believe that Kawhi, like, regrets leaving, and he understands he made a mistake and he just wants to make it right. And I don't know if that's necessarily the case. But one, I think that this is an off the court legacy move as much as anything else, because Kawhi could never be a Spurs legend because there's too many legends and he didn't do enough there. He could never be a Clippers legend because there's no such thing as a Clippers legend. Um, Toronto was kind of his best opportunity to have a post basketball legacy that's like epic. Because the reality is he doesn't have to do that much to basically be considered the greatest Raptor of all time. If he takes us to the Eastern Conference Finals and one more time, I think most Raptors fans would comfortably say he's the greatest Raptor ever. Now that he came back, um, he can come here and do business for the rest of his life, like, and to even just make it about cold hard like cash, right? Of course, I'm sure he's like, his kid was born in Toronto. He's always been doing like charity work in Toronto even since leaving the Clippers. Even this past February, I don't think a lot of people know this, but this past February he opened up a basketball court in an underprivileged neighborhood, in a place called Scarborough, close to Toronto. So like, I mean, I think he's always kind of understood that, hey, I did something pretty epic here. I have a pretty special place in people's hearts. There's something to build here. And I think by coming back to Toronto, he's able to keep building on top of that. Um, I think that was the main reason he came back. There's other basketball related reasons where we'll see. Okay, I'll be able to confirm this next season. I also think that like the kind of basketball the Raptors want to play is perfectly catered for Kawhi. And Kawhi is the exact player we've been looking for forever. Like, I think we're built for Kawhi and Kawhi is built for us. Now, this is something that I don't think that point carries a lot of weight until the regular season starts. But yeah, I think that like that's a much smaller reason. But I think it's an off the court thing. First and foremost. I think it's a fun conspiracy theory to say that he's running away from like the Chargers or whatever, but that's not even a real thing because Canada extradites to the U.S. I think Fred and Marcus will help bring leadership back that wasn't there last year while KD was playing PO. Yeah, for sure. Like, KD can't be playing point guard. That's not the role he's gonna thrive in. I think Fred is the one they need the most, right? Because Marcus Smart, I think Marcus Smart coming in and playing like top tier Marcus Smart hoops. I don't know how much of a needle mover that's going to be, but in theory, if Fred VanVleet looks like anything close to peak Fred VanVleet, that could kind of change things for Houston. With that being said, I'm going to refill my water. I'll be right back, people. Shout out to everybody in here. But yeah, more hoop talk on the other side. Third quarter on the way, people. A Tempo out here fighting for their lives. Um, yeah, stuck 15. Ooh, I haven't checked the stats for the whole game. 50 to 45, that's pretty sustainable. Like, no reason to expect crazy change. What do you know? The Dream are out rebounding us. This is the reality of going up against Angel Reese. That is a tough competitor to be going up against on the boards. Losing the turnover battle, but not significantly. Looks like a. Hmm. Yeah, it looks like rebounds are a big thing because field goal percentage and turnovers are not that far apart. But yeah, Atlanta starts the game off with a corner three. Sabali. I think she accidentally ended up under the basket there. Like, I feel like she was going to spin or something, lost her footing, kept backpedaling, and then just the defender kept conceding ground. I think the reason why KD hasn't been traded yet is look at the Rockets traded the guy in Jalen Green, who was their first big prospect, in Dylan Brooks. For a year of KD, it would not be a good look. I get that. I get that. Like, you definitely like the thing is like deciding that you maybe would want to explore trading KD doesn't just mean you trade him for anything. Kind of have to be opportunistic in the market. Like, what I was meaning to ask though is that do you think there's any truth to the fact that like after the burner shit leaked that like the young players don't fuck with him, or like they kind of feel like he doesn't like them or whatever? He's a complimentary piece at the stage of his career, good scorer. Here's the thing. I think he's like a premium complimentary piece, but I get what you're saying. Ultimately, what we saw last ooh. And by complimentary piece, like you mean number two, not the number one, right? Because yeah, I wouldn't ask KD to lead me to a championship in 2026. Like, I would want to have a team, and I wouldn't automatically say that you need a player that's like head and shoulders above Kevin Durant. But if Shengun was closer to closer to, I'm not even saying Jokic, but closer to Jokic, the way people would like talk about him, and one of the other prospects hit, then I think that like there's enough there. I hear that. That makes sense. Because at the end of the day, everybody has a job to do, right? It's like you can decide you don't fuck with Kevin Durant, but if you guys are on the same team and there's a job to do, and like it's not like you're gonna sit there and pout and protest. Uh, but yeah, no, for me, it's more just like as much as it's easy to have like pride and ego about these kind of things. If you traded for KD, um, if you traded for KD because you thought your young players were ready, and you then realized maybe they're not ready. Like, I don't think it's a horrible thing to pivot, because you know how you said of like if you trade KD for nothing, then it looks like you traded Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks for a rental. I get that, but again, like it's not that simple. Like, that's kind of a very it's an overly simplistic way of looking at something. They made that trade because they thought their young guys were ready for prime time. Maybe they're a little bit further away than they thought. So now you have to sit there and make a practical decision about an older player. Okay, hold on. How long since the last stream? 3 days. We were talking about something about NFL rules. Yeah, last stream I did for NFL was Thursday night. Next stream I'll be doing it. I think it'll be Thursday night as well. I was planning to stream last night. It just didn't work out. This is glorious, dude. I read this. This is glorious. This is my dream job. I would love to sign up for that job, dude. Throwing the red flags. I would like to have all those kind of I would love to have what's it called? All these kind of random rules. Like if I could have a job where I throw the red flags, I make sure nobody steps onto the field, and I carry the Gatorade, dream job. Do you guys remember that brown guy that would hold the big beatbox for a college basketball team? While they walked out, he would be holding this big ass speaker blasting NBA YoungBoy, and the whole team would be turning up. Bro, that would be me if I had this kind of a job. All right, it's a 20-point game. So while I will be watching and occasionally talking about it, we're just gonna turn this into a general hoop chat kind of a stream. Um, so yeah, I mean, like this is kind of just like how I look at things, right? Um, so Kevin Durant right now is 37. He'll be turning 38 in September. So this season he'll be 38. He will have the ability to opt out of his contract after this season and be a free agent. So, if he plays this season out and he's a 39-year-old Kevin Durant in free agency, the question becomes to the Houston Rockets, would you re-sign a 39-year-old Kevin Durant? And I'm not saying this rhetorically because the answer might actually be yes. I'm just not tapped in enough with Houston to kind of have a feel for what they would do. So this is kind of what I would ask Kyle, right? Like, would you trade sorry, would you sign a 39-year-old Kevin Durant this time next year? Not even this time next year. Like in 11 months. Would be worse. No, I get this. I get this. Alexis Sanchez. Yeah, he's in Montreal, bro. He's welcome to a Canadian. Bro, he's gonna be dominating the what is it called? The 401 Derby. I forget what it's called. No, that's not. That's Ticats Argos. There must be a rivalry name for Toronto Montreal. But yeah, Alexis Sanchez will probably be the best player in that rivalry, dude. I thought it was gonna be Insigne, but it's not. Also, that league is about to operate on a regular football schedule, so there's gonna be MLS games in like December in Montreal. That's about to get spooky. Dog, it's a 24-point game. This is pure pain, people. This is pure pain. I'm gonna be so real with the way these tempo games have gone. I might have to pivot to a once a week tempo watch along schedule because I just don't know if I got this. Especially this time of the basketball calendar where there's not that much like news. Um, I don't know how much I can watch them just get their shit kicked in. Conde is pissed. Yeah, people. Next month or so, you guys might see one stream a week. Keep it rolling. See, no, again, I agree with this in principle. Like, sorry, I agree with this in a vacuum. So, like, everything you said, if you just look at it alone, it makes sense. But again, you have to consider if you're keeping him, if you, as a team that's third or fourth, if you're keeping him, are you gonna pay him at 39? And what is he gonna get paid at that point? Because this deal looks like less than the max. 43 and 46 starting this year. This is considerably less than the max. So it's safe to say he's going to be asking again for considerably less than the max. Would you give it to him? And the question that, or the thing that I would suggest is at some point, you have to look at this $40 million of salary that you're paying Kevin Durant and start to wonder when is this going to become bad salary? And if, whenever that date is, I would want to trade him before that date for a contract that has a little bit more like like is going to be better for us for longer. Um, and we can take a peek at the Rockets salary sheet to see when they're like when their ability to spend kind of gets killed. Okay, so this season, where are they in terms of the luxury tax? With 18 contracts on the books, they are 4 mil into the luxury tax, and then next year they're apparently gonna be 46 mil below the luxury tax with 5 players left on their roster, like to fill out because there's a 10-player roster size. And then let me see who the free agents are. The free agents are Amen Thompson. Oh, there it is. Because Amen's gonna get more than like Amen's gonna get at least like 25 mil. And then after that, your free agents are Kevin Durant. I mean, Kevin Durant's the main one at that point. But okay, so if you get 158 5 players. You know what? You know what? Something I'm realizing about Houston, they locked up a lot of their players pretty early to where like Şengün's money is not bad. He never hits over 40 mil. Jabari Smith's money is not bad. He never hits over like 25 until 2030 when that'll be really small money. Like the Rockets will actually have money to spend 2028. Hold on. They never go like seriously above the salary cap. So yeah, in the year 2028-29, so the summer of 2028, they have 5 players under roster, and they're 150 mil below the luxury tax. And the only discernible money that I see them spending, big and one for Morrow, um, is Amen Thompson's money. So they have ability to absorb some salary. You know what? Shit. This is kind of like changed my stance, considering that they're not going to be above or like they're not going to have a bunch of money on the books. You can just keep KD, then let him walk for free, and use that money elsewhere. I randomly see sometimes Hamilton slander. Why? Okay. Let me get back to this. He asked for less than the max and sign him and have him play out his career like Jeff Green. I hear that because he's already signed for less than the max, so he'll definitely take less than the max. I don't know if I'm willing to pay a man that much. As stupid as that sounds, he needs to improve his offense, or else he's going to be an athletic Ben Simmons. I need to see more. I agree with this. And the thing is, though, if you're going to say you're not even going to pay a man, that's even more money. Like, you guys might have a lot. Like, hold on. How much cap space do you have the year you have 5 players under contract? Cap room. Cap. Cap. How? Hold on. Okay, roster cap hit 84 while the salary cap is. You guys could have like 115 in money to spend in free agency with like nobody. See, okay, so the 5 players they have under contract are Bruce Thornton, Isaiah Crawford, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith, Alperen Şengün. So like let me see who the free agents are in 2028. Houston 2028 people. Also, they have the Brooklyn Nets first round pick, so that pick might be really good. Houston's actually at a way more interesting spot than I initially realized. Free agents 2028. Oh goddamn. All right, 2028. Okay, all these old men in their 30s, I don't know if that's the play. Luka is probably not going to hit free agency. I imagine the Lakers are going to cash him out, and I imagine he takes it. But would it not be funny if Luka wanted to come back to Texas because he doesn't really fuck with LA like that? Big and one for Kiki Rice to cut the lead to 19. No Chris Paul meme. Um, Other game changers that are available. Darius Garland is not a game changer. Zion Williamson. Uh, that's yeah. The less said, the better. John Morant, I don't know. I don't, but Houston does have a chance to get considerably better in 2028. Looking at the free agency class, I don't necessarily know who the people are that are going to make them considerably better, but there's a lot of money to spend. Hot take: I think Luka is going to grow impatient with LA sooner rather than later. I respect that as a hot take. Like, it definitely counts. Like, it's not the popular take, but he never asked to be there. What people have to understand is that the Lakers are not actually a well-run team, and it's entirely possible he gets fed up with that setup. It's entirely possible. Angel, oh no, we're lucky we didn't get the and one there. So I said 22-point game. Yeah, no, that team is kind of ass. That team is kind of ass, and they're really not built to be around Luca. Because hate it or love it, the Mavs actually had about as good of a setup as you can possibly have around Luca, or like the best suited setup to what Luca is. But yeah, I mean, okay, if you're the Rockets, if you could, the only reason, given in this situation, the only reason you trade for Kevin Durant is for a player that you see being a Houston Rocket, like a meaningful Houston Rocket for 5+ years. There's no other reason to trade KD. But yeah, when it comes to trying to make this team better, right? There's not a ton of salary to trade outside of their like three players that they extended. So Shengun, Jabari Smith, Tari Eason. There's not a ton of salary to make big swings, right? There's a bunch of money to spend in 2028, but there's not even like crazy free agents available. Um, I mean, honestly enough, sorry, oddly enough, I think the draft picks that they have might be the big moves for them. Like 2027, if the Brooklyn Nets are bad, and they should be bad because Julius Randle and Michael Porter Jr., like the Rockets could have a number one overall pick. Obviously, with the new lottery odds, it's a bit more of a shit show, but they'll have a quality pick, or like a quality lottery positioning with the Brooklyn Nets. Fuck it up for no reason. Yeah, man, Nico. I mean, literally just a guy who worked for Nike, and it showed. It showed in the end. KD did say in the press conference, granted it's a press conference, he said he wants to retire in Texas. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing though, is that like the whole time that I've been talking about this situation, I'm looking at it from a lens of like Houston's best interest. I'm not under the assumption that Kevin Durant doesn't want to be there or like doesn't like it there or it doesn't make sense for him to be there. I haven't even necessarily explored that. I'm just really trying to think like if you're Houston, what is the best way to spend $40 million a year? It's a 21-point game. They're going to review both teams in the bonus. 2.5 minutes to go. Rip Live. Who is Live? Oh, you talking about the golf? What's going on, General? Mm. I would look into Jabari Smith deals before a KD deal. That makes sense. Well, Liverpool LSU with Jeff Bezos 30% stake. I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see. It's a lot. It should be an infusion of cash, but also at the same time, like an infusion of soullessness. But yeah, people. Any Tempo fans that are trying to lock into this team for the rest of the way, it's a shame that the Jays aren't giving you guys a bandwagon to latch onto, but this is gonna be a rough watch the rest of the way. Like I said, I think I might have to pivot to like a one stream a week schedule for the next month or so until the NBA news starts to pick up. For sure, and I think in Kawhi's case too, it's also like a that's a picky motherfucker, man. Like I think there might be like four teams in the NBA he would ever consider playing for, period, or maybe even less than that. Like like he's a strange guy. Okay, so Hamilton slander, right? Hamilton is about an hour away from Toronto. It's south. It's like halfway from here to Niagara Falls. If traffic is bad, maybe an hour and a half. It's the issue with Hamilton is that it is it's an area of natural beauty in theory, but then Hamilton itself is pure industry. Like there's just factory after factory after factory. And obviously, we're in a deindustrialized world where a lot of like factory business has gone to other places. So it's a very rundown place. A lot of like unkempt, dingy looking areas. Um, you can tell that these factories are polluting the local water. It's just like the air quality is horrible. It's the worst air quality in Canada, as Marina Mabry hits a three. Um, so yeah, Hamilton gets a lot of slander for that reason. What I'll say as a person that has had some friends in Hamilton, Hamilton is actually a cool place if you think like when it comes to the culture, right? Because like it's ultimately a small enough place to where there's still a lot of one-off businesses, right? Because think about it, I live in Toronto, and in a big city, you get a lot of chains, right? It's really hard. It's really expensive for a person to just have a one-off business. So there's a lot of chains and a lot of places that there's like 4 to 5 storefronts for, right? But in Hamilton, you still get these solo businesses, right? Like there's a pizza place in Hamilton that's like some of the best pizza I've ever had, and it's fucking Hamilton. Like I've had some great coffee there, like a lot of just like very interesting small businesses that I think are like pretty great. Um, if you escape the factory area, there's actually some really nice trails. You can go for nice walks. Um, no, Hamilton is cool if you like get past the fact that it just looks horrible. Like imagine if they put like I don't know the way people describe Burnley. It kind of there's a lot of Hamilton vibes how people talk about Burnley. Yo, no more generational player requests. Cause LA got Luca in 2025 and the Miles Garrett in 2026. Shohei too. Oh yeah, bro, Kyle, you're a Texans fan too, right? Oh yeah, we're gonna be locking in pretty soon. Like actually not. We've already started locking in on my other channel, the NFL channel, In Motion Football. Um, yeah, we're gonna be super active pretty soon there. Texans, interesting year for them. I think their defense is gonna be unreal, and I think their ground game is gonna be good. It's just literally like, is CJ Stroud gonna be serious or not? Lead cut to 16. Okay. If the referees can even up these free throws, man, maybe we have a chance. But yeah, it's just a matter of CJ Stroud, man. Because I also think the receivers are going to get better, bro. They're two draft picks from last year, Higgins and Noel. I think they're going to get better. Tank Dell is back. And while I don't think he's going to be remotely close to his peak, Sabali miss. Um, but if you're asking him to be your wide receiver four and to get maybe 1 to 2 touches a game, I think he's a good player in that role. Nico Collins is good, bro. It's crazy. It's gonna be so crazy. Like it's literally just is CJ Stroud gonna be? And you say beast or cheeks, right? He just has to be solid, bro. He has to just manage the game. Think about it. They're in the Super Bowl if he decides to throw 3 picks against New England instead of 5. The man needed to throw 5 to lose the game, and he did it. They may have even won with 4 picks. Just manage the fucking game, and you'll be fine. I love that roster on defense. I love that roster. The draft pick that they made, the tackle that they got in the second round, crazy. Reed Blankenship is from Philly. I'm an Eagles fan. He's gonna be good for you guys. I love the corners, Stingley and Lassiter. Fucking hell, man! Just C.J. Stroud, relax. Rice. Okay, this it looks like Rice got her touchback this game. She looks solid. I think the first couple games she was back, you could tell she hadn't played in a long time. Reese from three. Morrow. Okay, 13-point game. What was once a 25-point game, I believe, is a 13-point game, and he has talent. That's the most frustrating part. Not for sure, man. He's definitely not like a player that has no ability, right? You don't get drafted that high without ability. It's just like quarterback is so much about just like putting all the pieces together. It's not you need more than just pieces. You got to like put it all together, and that's where we've just seen inconsistency from him. Alma to beat the buzzer, she missed. Wait. Hold on. We only won that quarter by two. Oh, I mean, I guess the Dream started this quarter with a big lead. Oh, sorry, a big run. Yeah, so they had a 25-point lead at some point. Now it's a 13-point game. All right, let's see what the tempo can do going into the fourth. Some shades here, but CJ Stroud out Herberted Herbert in that game. Our defense couldn't stop anything until the Texans. Nah, this is true. The thing about Houston is like the big storyline for me. Obviously, last year was CJ, but outside of CJ was the offensive line. Um, their offensive line has a lot of pieces. I'm not 1,000% sure that all the players that they got are going to be good, but they have new guys. So like there's an outside chance that the line is actually like good, and if that's the case, bro, they might be able to just ride David Montgomery and Woody Marks to freedom. But if the offensive line is mid, then they need CJ to play well. If the offensive line is ass, then they're probably in trouble regardless. But yeah, offensive line is another storyline to watch, man. It's gonna be an interesting NFL season with wise words for us fantasy managers. They're locking that. Will Anderson, Daniel Hunter, Katie McDonald, Jadavian Clowney as a rotational leader. D'Amico built his defense because he was a Niners defensive coach. Yeah, man. And I don't know how old you are, Kyle, but I actually remember when D'Amico was a player because I'm a OG. But yeah, D'Amico was an unreal. Like D'Amico was maybe the best Eagles linebacker I had ever seen in my life at that point when he was on the Eagles. Um, but yeah, he was a really good player. He was a really good defensive coordinator, and now he's a really good coach. Man, that's just a football guy. But yeah, nah, Houston's gonna be a good team. Shout out to everybody in here. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, man, with the way the tempo season is going, I think I'll be doing one stream a week here to hold us over until NBA news picks up. But on my other channel, In Motion Football, which I'm gonna pop in the chat right now for the people who have not tapped in, I will be there a lot more often, like minimum 2 times a week, and more as time goes on. Yeah, I will be there pretty often talking all things NFL. So while this is like a Raptors Team Canada, like a very specific channel, In Motion Football is literally about the sport of football. So I'm out there talking about everything under the sun related to football. So tap in, people. Next stream will be Thursday night. I'll be just live during preseason games, trying to keep an eye on where some starters are playing. Anywhere where there's starters, I'll tap in to see who's playing. The Steelers are playing, so I think I'll try to see some Drew Aller, Will Howard, shit like that.
So this is where you guys will be able to see me a lot more while we're in the dead of the NBA season or like the basketball cycle, considering that the tempo aren't doing that great. Oh yeah, Alec Pierce, a full time scammer, dog. Full time scammer. They have Kalen Buck, Jalen Petrie, Reed as safety, Aziz as linebacker, Sting Bassett. Yeah, no, the defense is unreal, man. Uh, thing is, I think the Seahawks lost some vets and they replaced them with youth, and sometimes that takes time to like replenish. Houston should have the best defense in football next year. They should. 11-point game. Quickly back to 13. Kiki. Floater. Man, Kiki Rice. Does she lead the team in scoring yet? No, still behind Mabry, but nobody else. There's only three players in the game with more points than her. What do you think of the Araujo signing? I don't think it's a good signing, dude. I mean, I think at the end of the day, if you're loaning a center back, it's because there's nobody on the market, and I think that I don't know. I think that they could have found somebody from a smaller league that was actually like more worthwhile. Or oh shit, Mabry hit a three. It's an 8-point game. Yeah, I don't know. Just like loaning in a Barcelona reject is not the answer to me. Texans games will probably be like 20-6, especially with the way you guys are gonna play now, bro. David Montgomery is a perfect running back to have if you have a great defense, because he's gonna help you sustain 7 to 8 minute drives to keep hold of the football. Don't to not have CJ Stroud have to do too much. Keep the defense off the field, keep them fresh for when they're on the field. David, this is like the best way to play football, man. Bludgeon teams until they commit to putting more defenders in the box to make CJ Stroud's life easier throwing the ball to the receivers. Like David Montgomery is such a sick, again, provided that the offensive line is better. Montgomery should be a pretty sick player this year. You know what? It's just something about Chelsea attackers, bro. A Chelsea attacker can play the worst football you've ever seen in your life for 2+ years, and there'll still be top Premier League teams looking to buy them. Gray, fuck, dude, shit, man. The Dream are on pace for like 110, man. Whenever we've needed a big offensive possession, it hasn't worked. Yeah, it hasn't worked out for us. Yo, what's going on, Caden? Hope all is well. Oh, you mean top tier, like actually good? Because I would make the argument that Havertz isn't necessarily good either. Morrow splits the free throws. Fuck the base. Go crazy, Caden, bro. Go crazy. Great. Oof. Oof. Yeah, last two possessions, it's been too easy for Atlanta to get to the basket. And as much as we've had a nice run here offensively, like it, these type of runs can only sustain for so long. You got to have your defense buy you some time to play some normal offense so that you can heat up again. If you're Brandon Ingram, why would you want to go back to Toronto if the trade? If he has to come back to Toronto, at that point it's purely business because he's in the last year of a deal. Like he can opt out. I mean, I guess he could opt in to another 40 mil. But the point is like if you're back in Toronto, you already understand that the team doesn't look at you as a part of the future. And the goal is just you have to get to your next team at a respectable contract. Um, So if he does come back to Toronto, I think the pretty clear understanding is like we're gonna try to trade you ASAP again. The tricky thing is that the way NBA contracts are designed, you can't trade them up until I think January 15th, or like when you once you sign them. So given how many players sign new contracts in the NBA, there's like a whole third of the league that just can't be traded right now until January. So essentially, it's hard to make trades. Fuck, Atlanta hits a three. It's a 15-point game. This game is over again. It's hard to make trades in this time period. Like oddly enough, I think the Clippers are a great situation for Brandon Ingram because he can just chuck, shot hunt, get a bunch of stats, and then get paid again by someone. So when he came to Toronto, I think he picked us over the Hawks or something like that. But like whatever team wanted him before Toronto, like he can just go there. Honestly, a team like Atlanta could use him. Like I understand the use case in a situation like that. Oh, that's fire, bro. That's fire. Get the fan club going. Pulisic, but he milked that UCL like everything. I don't even think bro. We sold him to AC Milan. I legitimately might be Eden Hazard. I'm trying to think about it. Like, when's the last good striker that Chelsea's had? Like, actually a good that we've sold? Diego Costa, right? Last good winger that we've sold. Yeah, like Eden Hazard. Hazard and Costa are like the last top tier forwards that we've sold. Hey, take care, dog. Hope school's been going well, bro. Oof, bro. Whenever they need high leverage moments come up, man, Atlanta's been able to generate good looks. Harrison and Morrow aren't on the same page, and it's a turnover. No, I missed it. What did he say? Ooh. But yeah, 6 minutes left. We'll see what they can salvage from this game. Similar to other games that ended up like this, like my prevailing thought is just get Morrow, Kiki Rice, and Sabali slash Tiani Key all the minutes that you could possibly get them, because that's the best value to be gotten from moments like this. Hey man, American education, baby, baby. He's from ASU. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. 16-point game. 5:53 left, and again, teams take timeouts in these blowouts because nothing better to do than waste time. So, yeah, people. Like I said, I'll be back for one of the games next week. I will not be here for Tempo Wings because the Wings will send the Tempo to God. That is going to be not nice Wednesday night. So I'm gonna save myself from having to watch that.
Um, what do I think of the Tunsil injury? I think it's devastating for them because he's their best offensive lineman, and he's a damn good offensive lineman. Um, Wait, didn't he tear his triceps, bro? What is the correlation? What the fuck? But yeah, man, it's a devastating injury for the team. I don't know how he tore it. What I know is that like there are some teams that are a little bit more prone to injuries. Like I would say old fashioned like old school coaches, their teams tend to be a little bit more prone to injury because they try to do real football shit during training camp. A lot of the newer school coaches like they're bought into the idea that like your team being fully healthy but maybe a little bit less ready to play football is still better than a team being like more in form but injured. So I don't know if this is the result of Washington having a shitty training camp or not, but it's devastating for them. Um, they keep saying he's out for most of the year. He's basically only going to be back if they're a good football team. And what are the chances they're a good football team without Laramie Tunsil? Come on, come on. So yeah, he's basically out for the year. And then I think they just pay. If I remember this correctly, yeah. So when did he sign this deal? They just gave him a new deal. He's 32. He's gonna miss a year. Oh, they signed it last year. But yeah, who's more likely to be a starter? Aaron Donald, bro. I think only one of these guys is going to be in the NFL. I feel like the decision is easy. Jordan Canada, always cooking Canada, man. Bring her to the tempo. Give me 2 points. I mean, they're going to keep their starters in. Hopefully it happens. Maybe with an and one. Chance to make it a 13-point game. But yeah. Oh, man. Just right at the basket. Too easy. One assist from Jordan Canada and then one bucket from Alma. I mean, she's in the game, right? I just realized. Am I cheering for something that's not possible? She's not in the game. Damn, bro. My bad. Conde is in the game instead. Or Kiki Rice, depending on how you look at it. Canada is still in the game, though. Canada is not getting the ball, man. They're passing it to everybody but her. Reese misses the shot at the buzzer. 97 to 82. Mabry. Step back. Jumper. Sabali. 97 to 84. Sidestep three. Wait, was that the assist? That may have been from Canada. Genwa. That may have been from Canada. Mabry as a roller. Free throws. Willie Cauley Stein was an interesting character. 100%, bro. He had neck tats in college. You know how much money all his tats would have cost? Money and time that would have taken. That man was committed to the tattoo life. Yo, Ryan Howard is going crazy. We're actually getting fried right now. They they let us get back into the game probably because they were bored. But as soon as they needed to, they started chefing us up again. But yeah, people. But yeah, 16-point game, 3.5 minutes to go. We won't be here for much longer, people. Probably for like 5 to 7 minutes. So any questions you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll be hanging around a little bit longer. Oh no. What a sloppy possession, dog. Nobody wanted the ball. Ryan Howard gets up another three. They're just letting her cook. They're going to find her again. Another three. Another brick. Another rebound. Yo, well, these aren't me bounds, but offensive rebounds over and over and over for Atlanta. 12 to 4 on the offensive rebounds. Reese as a roller misses. Rebound by Sabali. Mabry. Man, get Kiki Rice the ball. Your points to be 3, 4, 5 against the Dream this season. There's a theme, bro. She had a theme and a pattern. Had you clocked that earlier, you could have bet appropriately. But yeah, man. We're out here. Again, we'll not be here on Wednesday, which I think is the next game. Next time I'll be back is next week. One of the games next week. Actually, let me see if I can pick it out right now. Okay, Fever on this would be Tuesday. Mystics on. Okay, definitely not Friday. Because come on, it's a Friday night. Tempo or Mystics? I think I'll probably. Sorry, I mean Mystics or Fever. I'll probably do Fever, just because I've seen us lose to the Mystics hella times already. I'm way less interested in that. So Tempo Fever is probably the next time I'll be live. So on Tuesday. Yeah, man. A commercial break and a blowout. Unfathomable, people. Maybe it's 34. Wow, man, that sucks. Three Dream players with 20s. Canada, Reese, and Howard. Andrew Reese, 20 and 14, man. Can't complain about that performance from her. Giannis really hated the Bucks. Giannis definitely was really weird with them. Band almost back together. Okay, when are we getting Slim back? When are we getting Slim back? We need her. 'Shit, dog. I think he understands the ringer that Pat Riley and the Miami Heat are gonna put him through. That Heat culture shit is not for the weak. Sabali misses under the basket. Turnover. Rice with the ball. Rice attacking. Pulls up from three. Contact. Offensive rebound bucket by Izzy Harrison, but Kiki Rice very frustrated with the contact. A lot of tempo players have been frustrated today. No calls. 12-point game. Minute 37 to go. Had to change the pick real quick. Ooh, okay. So I went on a bit of a road trip, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And on the way back, we had just 3 hours of putting Kanye's whole library on shuffle and just like skipping things when we had to, but just sitting through it. Man, the attachment that I have to some of his early music is crazy. What this album in particular, some bangers. Shout out Sabali, actually a good game against the Dream. Those stats ain't easy. No, yes. So Sabali has played her best ball last couple weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. Um, yeah, 12-12, 3-4. Like she's starting to figure her game out. I think she's 26 now. Played on the Liberty these last couple years, so probably didn't get a lot of run on a really good team. I don't think she was too great to start the year. I mean, I felt like pretty frustrated by her game at times, but I think she's figured things out. 55.5 seconds left. Vote for Jared. We kicked a member out of the fantasy league. Yo, this is great. That's amazing. Hey, it might happen, dude. It might happen. We might have to kick. That might be what we do in motion football. every year the league will grow or whatever, but it's like if you want to keep your spot, you have to not finish last. So I apologize. My name ain't Kyle. My name is Caesar. Is it Caesar or Cesar? How do you pronounce the name? I had to make a new account because I forgot my password, so I chose Kyle. I don't know why. No, I mean that happens. Like yo, people use like fake names online because sometimes they don't want their like real names or identities out there. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Like you don't nothing to apologize for or feel bad about. Um, go by whatever name you want to go by. Just let me know whatever you want me to call you. But you're good either way, man. Shout out to General though. Man has his whole government name out there. I fully thought that this must have been the name of like a character or something. And then he once added me on Facebook and I'm like, oh, that's just his full name. Bill Stadium malpractice? I'll be honest, I'm shocked and I can't believe it. And something wants to tell me that there's some type of misunderstanding or those pictures are not actually from seats or something. But there's no way that's the case. Like that's insane and that's absurd. But we'll continue to monitor that. What's also malpractice are their Nickel City gray uniforms. Those things are horrible. Speaking of horrible though, this game was kind of horrible. All things considered, Tempo got their shit kicked in again. Tough stretch that they're a part of. Character building stretch. Hopefully they'll be better from this at some point. But very tough moments to be in the midst of. We need Brittany Sykes back. In the worst way possible, and hopefully that can happen for us soon. I said it was already taken. Ah, so your name is like Cesar Cruz, and you're from Houston. That makes sense. That checks out. But yeah, shout out to everybody in here. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm out, people. I'll be back on this channel again. Back on this channel in like 8 days for Tempo Fever, and I'll be back on In Motion Football on Thursday night, people. So I'm dropping that link in the chat once again for the people who might not be familiar. But yeah, this is where I will be at. For the next at least couple months is going to be pretty active here. What's your favorite pop artist and least favorite? Ooh, pop artist. Okay, so I feel like pop is a pretty broad term nowadays. If we're talking about what I consider pop music, my favorite pop artist is probably like Dua Lipa, and like my least favorite pop artist is, I don't know, one of the annoying ones. Like I've always thought Kesha was pretty annoying, so that's my favorite and least favorite. But my favorite thing that I'm about to do right now is go get some ice cream, people. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys again on Thursday at Emotion Football and on next Tuesday here. But we're out. Take care. Peace.